Earlier, I spoke to the Shadow Chancellor, John McDonnell, on a noisy college green. I began by asking him whether now was the time for Labour to call a vote of no confidence.
We'll call it when we can win it. I think it'll take a while for the Conservative Party to settle down, for sides to be determined, particularly those ex-ministers going onto the backbenches. So we'll see in September.
You might be leaving it too late, right? Because if you call it, let's say the 3rd of September, the whole process, including the time you need to run an election, will be the 24th of October. That's a week away from
tight.
our...
All of this is tight, but the call has to be made when we can win it. No use calling a no confidence if we can't win it. And I don't think we'll be able to win it until a number of Tory MPs have seen exactly what Boris is up to on the no deal.
Isn't it incredible, though, that we're in this position at all? I mean, the government barely has a majority. The Conservatives are barely functioning for 3 years. They haven't sorted out any domestic policy. I don't need to tell you that. They haven't sorted out the one thing that they promised to do when in power. You were handed this dream scenario, almost impossible to screw it up, and yet you're neck and neck. What's gone wrong?
We've defeated them time and time again in the House. We've defeated them on proposal after proposal. Whenever we thought it was in the interest of the nation to do so, we've defeated the Tories. We've forced a Prime Minister out of office. They've now brought forward another Prime Minister.
That wasn't you. That was her own party.
It was Parliament, which the basis of that was the Labour Party and Tory rebels. She was forced out of office because we continuously defeated her. And we defeated her on a scale not seen before in Parliament.
Oh, come on, that's delusions of grandeur. If you think it was your power that got her out, you've got the same problems.
Where did those votes come from?
Isn't the truth that you've got...
Where did those votes come from? They came from Labour MPs.
She never thought that she would have Labour's votes. She thought she'd have her own side's votes.
It was Labour MPs mobilising votes across the House of Commons, and we defeated her.
Isn't the truth, though, that you've actually got exactly the same problem as the Tories, that the membership want a leader that the electorate probably don't? It's the same for Jeremy Corbyn as it is for Boris Johnson, as it was for Theresa May.
We're ahead in the polls. We're ahead in the polls at the moment.
Hardly.
And
it's a four-way split,
we're ahead in the polls in the most difficult circumstances with this ex-Brexit issue carrying over us. We're ahead in the polls.
This government has been here for nearly a decade. You haven't won a nationwide election since 2005.
Okay. 2017. The polls were, we were 24 points behind. The prediction that we would be wiped out. We've almost won. Given another week, we can come.
You haven't won a nationwide election since 2005.
We performed better than any commentator or anyone else predicted. We were nearly there. What we're saying now is that if the Tories are so confident, bring on that election now and we'll show you what we can do.
You know that double the number of members no longer support Jeremy Corbyn, as did this time last year.
He's won 2 elections for leadership with resounding numbers.
For leadership?
Yes, that's right.
And where does it get you? Look where you came in the European elections. Look what happened in the locals.
It got us within an inch of power in 2017 when everyone else wrote us off.
Tony Blair couldn't say to me last night that he would vote Labour at the next election. Does he represent those you need to win back? What would you say to him?
I'd say vote Labour, because what you need to do is get rid of this Tory government.
And he has said it's not about the Brexit policy in this case, it's because anti-Semitism is a real problem for him, fundamentally repugnant to everything the Labour Party should stand for. You wouldn't disagree with him there?
No, of course I wouldn't, and we're dealing with it. We're dealing with it.
You know, though, that you say bring it on in terms of a general election. Your house isn't in order, that the weakness of the Labour Party is what has enabled the right wing now. That lack of clarity, that weakness is what has landed us here now.
We've abided by the democratic decisions of our members at the last Labour Party conference, which was to block a no-deal Brexit, which we did in Parliament once, and as often as we possibly could. Seek to get a deal that would work and protect jobs in the economy. We're in 6 weeks of negotiations with the Tories. It failed because the Tories couldn't deliver.
Can you still work with the Tories now?
No, I don't think we can. They cannot deliver. And now under Boris Johnson, all they're interested in is really forcing through a no-deal Brexit, or a Brexit will not secure the jobs and the economy.
Jo Swinson has made it clear that she'd be happy to work with the Labour Party, but not with Jeremy Corbyn himself. Does that give you pause for thought now about the style of government
Isn't it interesting? Jo Swinson was willing to work with the Tories, introduce some of the most savage austerity cuts that cost people their lives.
But
And
as
yet
you say, you're all on the same side now.
But she won't work with a Labour leader who opposed all those austerity measures. I think Jo Simpson needs to look inside her own conscience about her own behaviour under the austerity programme she supported in government.
So how are you going to get your people's vote then? You can't work with the Tories and you can't work with
what
the
we'll do is
Lib
we'll
Dems.
put proposals forward in Parliament. We're not entering into any coalitions or anything like that, but we will work with others to secure that vote. And we expect Jo Swinson, when we put forward our proposals on no confidence or for a people's referendum, to support them.